Can y'all see me now? Can y'all see the screen now?
Yes, thank you, Madam.
Okay. It's Hayadega, I can say to Jane. But if I say it to you, Amy and Jane, it would be Hayadega. Okay. Now, we're going in deeper. We're going in real deep now. And it's going into little more than what we, I told you, because it's been a while. We're going in. But I'm going back over some stuff that we did before, like boss. This is an everyday thing that you see. Boss, gabidani, or gabidina. Gabidini or gabidina is boss. Mokchoga is cream, which we don't use that all the time, but it's it's something that's you don't hardly hear. Danaloga, dragon. And another thing that I haven't really been doing anything, my computer, I had to change my phone number and my computer didn't recognize my phone. So I haven't had email since we come back from the holidays. I just got it this morning. So that's how come we're kind of going over, but I got some stuff up here. Poke salad, Osha. And it's about that time now. Well, no, it ain't. I don't know. I've never ate poke salad. I tried it once and it gave me a funny feeling in my mouth and I wouldn't eat it anymore. Dragonfly, dabasana. In fact, we was at the lake and we saw a lot of these one day and I told my grandkids, I said, dabasana, dabasana. And that was a kind of a new word for them. They've heard it, but they were, they were like dabashana, and and I'm hoping they'll stick. Daddy long legs, they come out now, so I've been teaching them that dabashole, dabashole, and then and we're in Eufaula, so we're in our closest lake is Eufaula, Oklahoma, so they have little islands there, and I told them Odi, that's even the little thing that's in the middle of a lake. Is an island, so I said Odi Domahi. That's that where you got to have that tone. It's unusual once in a while, and I told y'all that story about seeing the white owl. You don't see that, and that's unusual. So we would say, not Domahi hitchis. We've seen something unusual. And I told y'all sometimes we have our beliefs is like sometimes we see something unusual or something, it scares our people, or it gives them that something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. So and she died, the woman that was with me, not long after. Yeah. And we talked about it. No one said anything when we was traveling, when we was going. But when we was getting into our town and I was getting ready to take her home, she said, don't mind him, don't go to Wahanesos. She said, we seen something very unusual. I hope everything's gonna be okay. And I said, Moyahanesando, I hope so. I told her, I said, maybe you'll just pass over. Well, not long after, she was she had no symptoms or anything, and she had a 4th-stage stomach cancer, and she passed. And I was thinking about that owl. I was thinking about that because that's how we are. That's how we are. We're kind of leery about things like that. Moyimats. See, I can tell this Moyimats. It happened. Naktomahi Moyimats. Something unusual happened. See, I can use this right here. Naktomahi Moyimats. See how I put that together? See, that's how we use this. We can use it just like something very unusual happened. I can use this word Moyimats. Lunar eclipse. It is and I never knew what lunar eclipse was. I just do this right here. Trabakta Logat. Because at that time I was young. I didn't have enough sense to know what an eclipse was. But she would say Subakta Logadokchi. She would say it's swallowing. Hatisi Logadokchi. It's Hashi Logadok. It was doing the sun or the moon. Either way it was going, that's what she used to say. I mean, Dogas. I am doing Dogas. Now, and this is like now, like Dogas, like it's ready. It's ready, Dogas, or it's time, Dogas. That's what that is. Okay.
Mvhayv,
Yes.
when you're talking to kids running around, can you say dogas?
You can say Dogas. Daglegas dog mock Dogas. You have to put that mock in there like you're scolding them because they're running around, and you can say stop. I mean, so the way we say it is like in English, it would be like I'm saying that. I'm saying that because mock is short for Magi, which is say it. So if I say gas, I'm saying it now. Does that make sense to you? Like I can say, Fikwanna's gas. I'm saying you better be still. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. gas. And that's how come I told my little grandson that when he was like 2 or 3. When I said that to him, he was making fun of me. He was 2 or something, and I say, Adish gas. And he would say, no. He shook his head at me, and he would just grin. But of course he was 2, and I said, gas, and he would say, gas. He would he would say that. And I'd say, oh, if you was a little older, I done busted you. But he would just sit in the corner, and what he was doing was playing with our dryer. And he would shut it, and and he would pull it open, pull clothes out, then stick them back in and shut it. And that's how come he was sitting in this corner in our laundry room. And I said, he'd just sit there and just nod his head at me and just I said, I just gas. I said, I'm saying come. And he would be like, he would just make fun of me, and he'd say, I just gas. And he would just draw it out, and I was like, ooh, oh. But he was just 2 or 3. But see, he had the words already at that age. He was getting the words already because he was, even though he was making fun of me, he was saying the words. And so I never really said anything. Okay. Does, I am doing. You could say I am cooking. Remember, when you say I am cooking, you'd say no thanks, does, and you can add anything to this right here. Abishwa, no thanks, does. I am cooking meat. But it's doing something right here. I am cooking meat. Abishwa, no thanks, does. You get that, I am doing something. No thanks, does. I am doing something. Well, now, meanwhile, I'm doing something, you say, I'm cooking. I am cooking. Abishwa, no thanks, does. And abishwa's meat, no thanks, does. No thanks is short from no thanks, to cook. I'm cooking meat. I'm doing something. Dogas now. Oh, dogas now. Dogas is like, it's like my grandkids. Every time I get home from work, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? That's what they ask me, and I'll say, dogas now. It's just one word, and this one word can answer those questions like and I'll say, not yet, Hadi Mongoros. It's not ready yet. Well, then when I start putting stuff on the table, I'll say, dogas now. See, that's how that goes now. And boy, they're there. And you know, that little boy, he still runs around. He's 7 now. He still runs around going, humbukche, humbukche, humbukche. And you know, I'll say, Buja, go tell Buja it's time to eat. And he'll run in there and he'll say, humbukcha, humbukcha. And you know, he says it in different ways, which he's heard it. Humbukcha is one, and humbukche. And he'll go in there and he'll tell him that. And he'll tell his sisters, you know, humbukchi, humbukchi. You know, he says things like that. And I let him, even though, and he's serious, you know, he's serious about this when he goes around, you know, so I don't ever say anything. And he'll even run outside and tell, you know, and my husband's brother-in-law, he comes over quite a bit, and they'll be outside talking, and he'll run out there and he'll say, humbukchi, because I'll say, Douglas, now it's ready, Douglas, you know, and he'll run out there, humbukchi, humbukchi. He's at that age where he doesn't know he's talking a different language, I don't think. And you know, most kids, they're kind of afraid to speak, and I call it embarrassed sometimes, but he's not at that age now. That's how come when he asked for salt at school, he come home and told me, how come she didn't know that? How come she didn't know that word? You know, like everybody should know it. And he said, she didn't even know what I was asking for. How come? You know, how come she didn't know it? And it's just talking to him, you know, and that's what I want from him, is just talking. Okay, look here we go back to those different words. Hippopotamus. We shokha. And we, as remember, there's that wiwa and uwa. Wiwa is used in certain ways. Shokha means water pig. It's actually saying water pig. We shokha is a hippopotamus, but ain't that's a descriptive word. That's a descriptive word. Because it's saying a water pig. And if you look at it, it does kind of look like a pig, you know, to those people that saw it, you know. We shokha. It's a hippopotamus. The car is bashed in. Adami bajokshi dos. Bashed in or dented or whatever is called bajokshi. And you can do that to anything. You know, you can crash your tire, you can bash it in, you know, or you can bash something in, it's bajokshi dos. Dakfaliliska is a bat. Dakfaliliska. And you know, I did a storytelling here about last couple of Sundays ago. And I didn't know whether I was going to go to it because my husband had been in the hospital, and I asked him, did you feel like going? And he said, yeah. He said, I want you to do it. And he's my greatest supporter. He said, I want you to do that. So I took him, and of course my kids showed up. And I was telling these stories, and you know, they had a bat in that theater. in that theater. And I want to tell you something. Everybody was watching it, you know, and I thought it was a bird because I couldn't see it real well, but I thought it was a bird. But my daughter said it was a dakfaliliska. It says dakfaliliska damgit artos. And something unusual happened that day too. I was after we got done, I was coming out and I was standing there talking to one of my ex-students, and that bat landed on my leg. And I was like, ah! And I started screaming, and I started stomping my foot. I did a little dance, and it flew off. Well, you know, that stayed in my mind because I have never seen a bat do that. Well, I think it was the Friday after my cousin showed up and her sister had died. And I thought, oh, maybe that was it. You know, who knows, you know, maybe that was what I was going to hear, because they used to tell us when something unusual happens, you're going to hear something or something's going to happen. So I was worried about that. I was worried about my husband too. I thought, oh my gosh, I was really worried about it. And then my cousin showed up and she said her sister had passed. And of course, we were cousins. And I thought, well, maybe that was it. I didn't know. I mean, I always told my daughters, being Stijati, being a native person, it's hard. It's hard to be native because we have all these little things that we grew up with. And we were told that we weren't scared of life, but it was like, that shouldn't have happened. Have you ever heard anybody getting a bat just landing on it landed on my leg? And that, usually they're not human, they don't stay in contact with humans, and when there was little things like that, like unusual thing, like Dolmahi, it was it scared me. And I worried about that all that time,
They kill babies.
Yeah, they do, but it didn't. And when it first landed on me, I went like this. And then when I felt it, I knew what it was right off the bat. And man, that scared me. And I was like, that don't happen. That was something unusual, Don't mind me. Okay. Abejijit. Abejijida is the infinitive verb for abejijit. Abejijida is to go along a road or beside a river or something, go beside something. That's what that is. And one time my mother said she used to walk along the fence line to go to school. She said, "Manabejijit ayedumas." She said, I used to go to school going along the fence line. And she said that's how I went to school. She would go along the fence line. And that's what that is, abejijit. I walked along the river. A cricket, Jolotka. I know a person named Jolotka. His name is Cricket. And that means a cricket, Jolotka. And why they give these people these names, I don't know either. Jolotka. And Kilipa is a firefly. Kilipa. And you don't hardly hear that now. My grandkids do, because I tell them, they play with them. They'll sit outside in the evenings and we'll see them and I'll say Kilipa. They're scared of Jolotka though. This right here, Jolotka. They're scared of that. They don't like them. They see one and they run from it. And then Kilipa is fireflies. It says Jolotka istinayophagidos. Istinayophagy means it's bothersome to you. It's bothersome. Miski Kolipa foliduis. Fireflies come out in summer. Kolipa is fireflies. And the reason why I'm doing this is for you to learn new words. Okay. Dokto. Dokto. Bahi adikiduis. Dokto is a barn. You don't hear that anymore. My grandma used to have one and they used to say dokto. Dokto. Bahi is grass. Adikiduis means the barn has hay in it. But Bahi, when we say a bale of hay, we call it Bahi. And it's also grass, but that's where situation and environment comes in. Okay. So if we say Bahimahitos, we're saying the grass is tall. It's gotten tall. But if we say Bahinishida Oyachtos, if we want to buy grass, we know exactly that it means a bale of hay. Okay, a bale of hay. So that's where situation and environment comes in. Alikja. Alikja is a European doctor. Okay, Alikja is a doctor, a European doctor, a white doctor. And that's like going to in a hospital and they got doctors in there. But a medicine man is basically the same thing, but he's called Hilishaya. Hilis is short for Hiliswa. Hiliswa is medicine. And haya means he makes it. So this is a medicine man, like our tribal people has, our native people, they have medicine man. It's called Hilis Haya. Hilis Haya. And we get, a lot of people get these two mixed up because Alija is a doctor, a European doctor. Hilis Haya is a medicine man. And when I was growing up, that's all we had. I don't remember going to a doctor. If anything was wrong with us, we went to a medicine man. And he cured us, for anything, I guess. But I don't remember going to a European doctor until here. Seemed like it hasn't been very long that we started going into a European doctor, but all we knew was a medicine man. If anything was wrong with us, that's where they took us.
Mvhayv, when my dad would go to the clinics, the only one he would refer to as Mvhayv is the pharmacist.
Yeah, that's one, that's true, yeah. A pharmacist can be called that, yeah, you're right, good job. But you're right. And I knew this man was telling me the story, when you go to school, they ask, family physician. And they asked this little girl they said, where do you go to, who's your family physician? And she named a Stijati medicine man. And I thought that was, but that was all she knew, was that medicine man, that was their family physician, which that was ours. Okay, the shoes are made of leather. Istilibega is shoes. Chushi is leather. Ishagidos, ishagi are made of. Chushi ishagidos. Istilibega chushi ishagidos. And they used to call it like ijohaspi, like a deer skin or cow skin, but this is a word just for leather, chushi. So if you say chushi, it means leather, but it doesn't say what kind of leather. It could be deer skin or cow, or alligator. So you would you can identify that chushi. That's in general leather, okay? So you would say chushi odedos nagi ishagi. What is it made of? You would say waga haspi or ijo haspi. They ask you what's it made of. It can be deer skin or cow. Anaduxite. Anaduxite means look up at something like this. Like if you're looking up at the moon. But my mom used to get mad at me because we'd look up at people, we'd stare at them. And she'd say, I'm anaduxite, he just. And they used to tap us for looking at people, but we'd be like this, and just looking up at them, not moving, just looking up. They'd say that was rude, and they'd get on to us. Anaduxi means looking up like this at something, even at the moon. Afallah is poison ivy. And the reason why I did that, one day we was outside and my husband said, is that poison ivy? And I looked at it and I said, yeah. And we got away from it, and that was something that was, afallah, and it's out this summer. They're out. Imbingali means scared of it. Okay. Bagichki is gathered or pleated. Bagichki. You can say Hunna Bagichki to West. The dress was gathered or pleated. And that's how you would say pleated or gathered. And a lot of people sews. And my mom used to ask me when she'd make a skirt for me, especially during ceremonial time, she'd say, Bagichki Jiaja, you want it pleated or you want it gathered at the waist? And I'd say gathered at the waist, I'd say, and she did, and Ja means it shows ownership and you can't give it away. So remember that. So when you're talking about something that's belonging to you, like your family, your body, that you can't give away, you always use Ja. So when a word starts with Ja, it shows ownership. You can't give it away. Ja onaga saleji ja nak chinak doa onayi duis. Nagi istimichigodayat. And this is, okay, I'm gonna tell you, Bonaga is language. Salejija means that begins with it. Knock, things belongs to you. It tells that it belongs to you. Knock istimichigodayat. You can't give it away. Something that you can't give away. This exactly translates into what this is saying. Okay. Chukchuski means tangled or knotted. And you know, we went through that little story yesterday about we used to have little bitty knots in there, and they used to tell us it was dilabuchki. Dilabuchki is little people. And you know, that's part of our world. Little people is part of our world. And chukchuskidos, it means tangled or knotted, you know, or tangled up. And I tell my little granddaughters that all the time, especially that little 8-year-old. And she'll come and bring a brush and she'll say, brush my hair. And I will. And I said, you know, and I said, when was the last time you combed your hair? You know, and she just grins. She just grins. And, you know, I'm raising these kids to, and, you know, in a society, when you say something like that to a child, they say it's damaging. But for me, you know, we weren't told things like that. You know, it was just part of life for us. And I guess sometimes I tell people maybe we were thick-skinned. And that's how I raise my kids, but I say it in a tone. Don, when I say, oh my gosh, your hair is just tangled. And I'll say, when did you last comb your hair? And she'll just laugh and we laugh, you know. And I'll say, Yahitsa. I said, look at this, you know, and I'll make it to where it's more amusing than being a put down. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how we were raised. I think that's how we were raised, so that we wouldn't have this, I guess nowadays they would call it like trauma, I don't know. But you know, when we were raised, what's going on nowadays, what psychologists, you know, are talking about kids, we lived and we were, you know, talked to. And that's how come I say, sometimes the language is not as harsh as the English language. You know, it's not as harsh, maybe. It can be, but we don't make it. We can make it any way we want it to by tones, you know. And the other day, my little boy, my little grandson, he was on a trampoline. And he jumped too high. And I said, Ma! He was at the edge. I said, Ma! But when he turned around at me, and I scared him, you know, and he goes, whoa. You know, that's what he did. Whoa. He goes, I could have fell off. and you know, and see that Ma was all I had to say. But in English, I would have had to say, watch out. But to him, I said, Ma! And he was like, his face showed like, what's going? But he was too far to the edge, and I thought he was going to jump off. And see, he turned around and he looks at me and he goes, I could have fell off. You know, but that one word said caution, didn't it? I said, Ma, you know, and Ma is M-A, you know, Ma, me, ah, Ma, you know, and so there's these different words that we use, and we're going to learn those, guys. We're going to learn how to use them and when to use them. And here's some. Look here, this is just the beginning. I just did this while ago, and I've been working on it. This is going to show. I gave 5 oranges to him or her yesterday. This is going to show you past. This is going to show you plurals, okay? Gonna show you plurals and how to use them. Okay, this one says, I gave 5 oranges to him or her yesterday. Baksangi is yesterday. Yalaha jakibin, imayanks. That's single. Him or her. Okay. But look here. I gave 5 oranges to them yesterday. Baksangi yalaha jakibin. Imagayanks. Imagayanks. That's plural for them. I gave them. Okay. We're going to go through this slowly now. Because see how the words are changing? I gave 5 oranges to him or her yesterday. Today, it's Baksangi Yalaha Jakibin. Imayanks. See, Imayanks means I gave. I gave 5 oranges to them yesterday. Imagayanks. This is to them. And past when it's got the unks at the end. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions? Oh, I know, Joe. You're used to it. See, take care of yourself. Okay. So
Mvhayv, with the sentences, yalaha, are they spelled differently because of who they're?
Russian, probably typo. Yala.
Okay, but no.
Yalaha, yeah, it's a typo. I've been trying to get these up. Like I said, I didn't have my email and I had these and I'm like, oh, I had them written down. I had them had a type. I've just been writing because no email to send them in and this one's on a flash drive. So, okay.
Yeah. We're grateful, Mvhayv. I wasn't trying to be corrective. I just wanted to make sure I got it right. but
you know, I'll correct it. But that showed me y'all got a good eye, and y'all the ones that tell me what's wrong with it, because when I just read it, I'm reading it the way I speak. I don't see things that y'all see. Good job. Okay, so see, yesterday was Baksangi, and we're gonna have to go through this like Baksangi is yesterday. Baksi, Mujanita is today. Baksi is tomorrow. Baksangi was yesterday. See how these change now? Okay. Jakibin, because it's saying Jakibin is 5. Jakibin is 5. Okay. Jakibin is 5. But this is where it changed. Imida is to give. But you change this to Aimayanks. I gave it to one person. But when you give it to more than one, it's Imagayanks. And I think that's why sometimes this language is hard to grasp, because word changes. Word changes, okay? Okay, now here we go again. Now we're going to go back over this boxing tomorrow. Mother folded my shirt just now. Just now means just in time frame, okay? So you would say hadi. Remember we had that word, hadi. Mama, hadi. Amok yufkida bagoshlestos. You're making a statement. This yokufkida is a shirt. Amok yufkida is my shirt. Okay, mother folded my shirt just now. Okay, that's one shirt. But look here. Mother folded 4 of my shirts just now. Mama hadi amok yufkida osten anbogot lestos. Un means, with this un on there, means my shirts. And it's different here. Although it says my shirt here, you made it possessive when you put amok Amok yofkida. Yokofkida is a shirt. Mok means mine. Okay, this is gonna be real slow working, guys. Okay. And I'll make some more sentences, and I may even go over this and add some more things to it so you can understand it more. But on the second one, it says mother folded 4 of my shirts just now. Mama hadi amok yufkida Austin anbogo letstos. Because it says my shirts. This is really complicated, but we speak like this, and this is something that I'm gonna go into it more. We'll keep going over it till you learn it. I'll explain more. Did you iron my pants? It says, did you iron my pants? Hadik pega andini bechicha. Okay, andini beji. Dini bejida is to iron or make flat. Okay, dini bejida is to iron or make flat. It says, did you iron my pants? Andini bechitsa. This is saying my iron. Did you iron it? Right here. I'm gonna have to break these down for y'all guys. Okay, I'll break them down. But I'm kind of going through them now. And the more I'm going through them, the more I know what I need to explain to y'all. Okay. Did you iron our pants? Okay, this is going back to personal pronouns. Remember, is something that you can give away or that belongs to you. We'll go back over that. I have to go back over that. We'll get to this, okay? Did you iron our pants? Hadik pega bundini betcha. Bun is 3 people or more, plural. It's plural. You use bundini betcha when it's plural, okay? But it says our. And this is endings and beginnings with personal pronouns. So I'm gonna go back over personal pronouns here, probably next week, okay? We'll go, because we're gonna work on this for a while. I'm not afraid of the skinny dog. This says it's supposed to be, I'm not afraid of the skinny dog. That's one person. If a hodososhat, India Bingalix. India Bingalix. That is, I'm not afraid of the skinny dog. Hodososhat means skinny, okay? Afraid. This means I'm not. Okay, I'm not afraid of it. This right here means I'm not afraid. We are not, okay, here we go. We are not afraid of the skinny dogs. If a hodosagoshat unbingalix. See how that changed? Lahoma, Amy, are you kind of keeping up? Lahoma? How we're doing this, Jane?
I'm trying, but on the other sentence, if hodas, but that next word,
Hodososhat.
say incha.
Inja bingalix. Inja bingalix. Inja bingalix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of it. This is where things are changing. Remember, we went through different things through this whole course. You can say, I'm not afraid of the dog. You don't have to say skinny. You can say, if I injure bingalix, I'm not afraid of the dog. Or you can say, I'm not afraid of that lion. Istibaba. You can take a hodoshosak. This means skinny. You can just say, Istibaba injure bingalix. I'm not afraid of that lion. You can add anything there saying, I'm not afraid. But we're going to go back through pronouns here. I think I need to go back through pronouns because it's been a while since we had pronouns. We need to go back through them. You can.
Mvhayv, I had a question on the mama hokte, but Bacolichtos. Bacolichtos.
Bagolech. Bagolech.
Bacolech.
Bagolech
Bacolech.
is to fold. Bagolech is an infinitive verb of to fold. To fold.
Okay, that's
Bagolech, because it's got the ED at the end. Remember, we're verb prominent. Bagolech is to fold. And it's infinitive verb. You remember I told you could change those infinitive verbs to do whatever you want it to do. And this is what we're doing right now is infinitive verbs because we're verb prominent language. So see, we're doing things, and this is more or less bagolech means it's shortened saying she is folded. Folding these shirts. Okay.
Mado.
Yeah, okay. Dinibejida is to iron. That's an infinitive word. Dinibejida is to iron. Okay. And that's like ironing. And you know, my mother used to tell me she used to put an iron on the stove and iron her clothes. And it wasn't electric iron, it was something that you had to heat up, you know. So when dinibejida is the infinitive verb for that is, oh, I'm sorry. Andinibejida. I'm gonna have to go back through pronouns on this to really explain this, and I'll have that hopefully by tomorrow, okay? Hopefully, if not next week, because we're gonna stay on this. Hokti hadi simadiki jakibat pabigodos. The girl did not eat all 5 pies just now. And to me, that's just like saying, to me, that's more like I don't know, but I've heard that girl, you just did not do that, or something like that. They'll say that to me, you know, and that's a new thing. They'll say, you just did not do that, you know, or you just did not say that. That's what they'll say to me. That's kind of what this is saying, but it's saying, she hasn't ate it yet. That's exactly what its literal translation is. The girls, okay, look here, girl, and then it's got girls, did not eat all 5 pies just now. Hoktagi. One is hokti, one girl. Oh, it's supposed to be, oh my gosh. Hoktagi right here, take off the V. Hoktagi, hadi, look at there. I got all these, I need to go back over this anyway. Hadi simadiki, jakiba pabigodos. Hadi is like, remember hadi not yet. Or not just yet. Okay. And I'm gonna have to really go, I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, that child is dirty. Remember, that is ma, and this is ya. Okay, we went over those. Ma. This is all messed up here. Forget this one. I'm gonna have to go back over this and correct that. Okay. I don't know what I was thinking. Russian. Look here, a duck is flying north. Fojo honitha fachan damgis. Fojo is duck, honitha is north. Fachan toward flying. Because it says the duck is flying north, but we can't actually say that in Muskogee unless we say toward the north. Okay, the duck is flying north. Honitha fachan damgis. Fojo is duck, honitha is north. Fachan means toward, flying. Okay. Some ducks are flying north. Fojo abaluat. Hinitha fachan. Facha. Damijis. Woo! Okay. Fojo is duck. Abaluat means some. Hinitha, north. Facha. Damijis. One is, this is singular, damgis. More than one, damages, and it can be 10 or 15 of them, or 2. Okay, damages. Ooh, boy, this is getting, may have to back up a little bit, guys. This might be getting too in depth. Is it getting too in depth for you? Anybody, raise your hand. The river is deep. Mahachi Logidos. Remember, that river is deep. Mahachi Logidos. Remember, Ma is that. But it says those 6 rivers are deep. Mahachi Ibaga Lologidos. Logi is deep. Lologi means are deep. They are deep. That's plural. Okay, that's plural.
Mvhayv.
Also, somebody said.
Mvhayv.
Good,
I like how you just did that. You sounded it out and I'm looking at the words and trying to, in my head, put it all together as you're saying it. So do we have a recording?
Yeah,
Will we hear you say those words that way?
I can do that. I can do that. Okay. So that river is deep. Mahachi Logidos. It's saying one river is deep, that river. But when you say those 6 rivers are deep, see, those 6 rivers are deep. Mahachi Ibagat Lologidos. Ibagat means the 6. Remember we went through that gotcha lesta and effect. That's where this is coming in. And we kind of went along with it. And it's having to go back and study. Okay. It says you did not listen to the preacher on Sunday. Okay. Sunday, Angi. Angi means past. Sunday, Angi. Ifkinaga. In Mvhayv chigunks. Sunday, look at Sunday. Look how Sunday spelled. Sunday. Angi. And that's how they would say with the tone. Sunday, Angi, Ifkinaga, in Mvhayv chigunks. Because that English is saying, if you did not listen to the preacher on Sunday. So it might be Monday or Tuesday they're talking about in English. So it's past. Says y'all, you did not listen to the preacher on Sunday. It says plural. So we're going to have to add plural to saying, in my country, we say y'all. Y'all didn't listen to the preacher. So we say, Sunday Angi, Ifkinaga, in Mvhayv chigodonks. See how that changed? In Mvhayv chigodonks. This is plural. Plural. Y'all didn't listen. This is you did listen. And this is really going, I'm going to have to do this. We're going to go back over pronouns, I believe. The boy is hanging up his hat. Chibani Gadaboga. Adath dos. Adath is short for adathida, to hang. Okay? To hang. Adathida. But when you're saying it in a like this, you have to say adath dos. It's the same thing as saying hanging up. Okay. Look here. The 2 boys are hanging up their hats. Chibanagi Gadaboga Adahteja dos. Look how it changes. Chibani is a boy, and it's gender. Okay. It's a gender. Because it says the boy. It don't say, it's just saying a gender here in English, the boy. So you would say Chibani, that's a gender. Gadaboga, Adathtos. Okay. Adathida, Adath is short for Adathida, means to hang. But in order to speak, you would have to say Jibani Gadaboga Adaf Dos. The two boys are hanging up their hats. Okay, look, it says the boy, but then it comes down to plural. The two boys are hanging up their hats. You're gonna have to say Jibanagi. That's two boys. Jibanagi. Gadaboga. Adaf de jak dos. Adaf de jak dos. They are hanging up their hats. The two boys is hanging up their hats. So right here it says, boys, Jibanagi, Gadaboga. But look here, how come it says hats, but this don't have plural? Because you got it plural here and plural here. Gadaboga is just one hat. But oh, Jonathan, okay, so see, this is where this Jibanagi and Adaftejaktos took up the plural part of saying hanging up their hats, but this is saying Gadaboga, one hat. The boys, okay, right here saying the boys' hat are hanging up. Those can take place for R. This is kind of what I'm gonna go back, and we need to go back over a few lessons, okay? I'm gonna try to pick up some lessons that will fit this, and we're gonna go back over them. But this is how language changes. And it changes, and I think that's how come sometimes, well, you know, okay, this is what my deal is. You want to speak. I want you to speak. But learning one word is not speaking, is it? I can teach you fujo, ifa, edo. I can teach you what nagichihudifkadi or istungo. I can teach you that. But y'all got to learn conversation. You got to know phrases. You know what I'm saying? And it's vocal. You got to learn different ways of speaking, and that's how come I'm going into this. And it might be too much. If it's too much, let me know, because I'm gonna get some papers to back this up. Okay. I'm gonna get papers to back this up so that y'all can maybe get a better understanding. So that you can get it. I may have to go back over this and do some corrections and kind of explain each one. And it may be 10 pages long, but if that's what it's going to take, you know, if that's what it's going to take, because my mission is to save this language. If you want to learn it, you're going to help save it. So I can teach you Hachi, river. You know, I can teach you preacher, Iskinaga. I can teach you duck, fujo, but that's one word, you know. So that's how come we're going into this deep. And if I have to go back over some things, we have to go back. We're going back to pronouns, okay? Because this is where you're going to learn to speak. And, you know, do a lot of self-study, like, you know, learn some words. And this is teaching you different words too, like, Hodoshat. Hodoshat means skinny. You can say Hokti Hodoshat. Hodoshat, the skinny little girl, you know. Harik Bega is pants. Now you know what Harik Bega is. Dini Bejida is to arm. You know, that's where you're gonna have to, and Bagofleji means Bagoflej means folding, Bagoflejida. And how many people fold? I fold almost every other day. And being summertime, you know, we got that washer going every day. You know, being summertime, because if we put stuff in our laundry basket, they don't smell very good and the room doesn't either. So we had to put them in a washer all the time. And I'm folding. I'm folding. So that's part of that. And Baksangi, okay, Mojanita is today. Boxy is tomorrow. Baksangi is yesterday. And see how they're going. Look how that changes. Okay, Mojanita is today. Boxy is tomorrow. Baksangi is yesterday. Okay. Hinitha. Some people call Hinitha is north. Hinitha is north. They call it Kashapofa, inside the coal. Kashapi is coal, Ofa means inside. And it's descriptive. This is an old word for north, Hinitha. Hinitha. Okay. So this is a little bit complicated, but this is one way you're going to learn new words. This is one way to say things and how word changes. Okay, how they change. Okay. Any questions? This right here is like everyday. Remember, I was going to teach you everyday things. Right now, everyday things is like Chorotka, they come out in summer. Olipa, they come out summer. And this kind of came in. I thought, a lot of people don't know what Alikcha is and Hilisaya is. Like she said, a pharmacist can be a Hilisaya. And my daughter is a pharmacist, so she's a Hilisaya, So she'll and she gets really busy sometimes, and she'll say, well, they wanted this IV over here, and then I had to crush over here 2 kinds of medicine, in the pestle. And she said, how much time that takes? And then I have to run back over here, She gets pretty busy sometimes. And she'll say, I feel like 3,000 orders. And she'll say, boy, there's a lot.
And yet they have to be very careful.
Yes, well, that's what I told her. I said, girl, you better be on your game, because people are taking these. And she said, well, we have to measure that, put it in the computer, and then I guess that's their backup,
That's good.
And then maybe, I don't know what all this does. Maybe the computer says you're wrong or something, but, and, she'll say, we have to put out like, she said, there is so much medicine going out, and then that's when I start talking about Hilishaya. Maybe we need to go back to herbs, go back to the herbal way, might be safer. Then crushed up peels mixed together, or medicine in a bag of something, maybe there is something that our medicine men could do, but that's her job. So she puts them out, and she says, it's she said, you really have to be tintinous. She said, it's a tintinous job. You really have to pay attention. So she's like, she has to be well rested. And, when she goes, she says, I got to go to bed, Yeah, that's right. She said, there's no do-overs, and you can't do that, do-overs, And that's what I told her. Boy, you better be on your game. Be on your game. When she got her license, I said, you better be on your game. She said, I know. I said, because, you're just not talking about you, but I said, you're talking about people that needs this stuff, but they're depending on you to be right. You're the one that's got to be right. And, she likes it, she likes it because she said, I never knew so much, and I took these things sometimes. She said she would, but when the doctor asked for it, she has to mix them, and she says, and I told her, I said, just be careful, your You're messing with people's lives is what I told her. You're messing with people's lives. You know, and I hate to put it that way, but she's young, so I said, you're messing with people's lives.
Yeah, they're very important. The pharmacists are very important, even to the doctors, medical doctors, because, you know, they're up on all the latest and they know about the interactions, you know, with the different conditions, you know, they're very important to the whole medical process.
And you know, she has to mix different ointments and stuff. And one day she comes up and I said, were you busy? She goes, not too bad today. She said, I mixed several butt paste.
But, you know, talking about our medicines, the old Indian medicines, you know, there's all kinds, you know, and the red root was one of the stronger ones. But when I was a kid, I was very sickly. And when mom and dad would bring grandma to the house, of course, she didn't speak English, but she understood mom spoke Creek, so she could explain to her as much as she understood what was going on with my health.
Yeah.
But grandma would bathe me in sometimes the red root, you know, the mix, but other times the willow.
Yeah.
And I've actually been thinking about writing poetry about what my grandmother used to do for me. And it's because of this class, you know, some of the things, some of the stories you share. So.
You know, I had to tell those stories here about, you know, during that Sunday after my husband got out of the hospital. And I was like, you know, and so they said that it's about olden days. So I said, you know, way back, we could be washing dishes. My mom, I would be washing dishes and she'd be sitting there. Or we could be sewing a quilt, she'd be sitting with me, or we could just be sitting, or even riding in a car, and all of a sudden she would just tell a story, tell me things, you know, and I would just sit there and listen. And it wasn't like there was no night to tell that story, or there was no set time. She would just start and tell me things, you know, and I was telling them about the tornado and everything, and how she would just all of a sudden just start sharing something. Just all of a sudden she would just sit there and she'll say, you know, and then she would start off telling me these little things that she heard, or what the elders used to say, or how we should be acting, you know. She used to tell me how to act, for one thing, you know. She used to say, you know, and I'm going to do that next. I got that written down. I got some of those written down and I got them typed. We're going to do that. She used to say, you know, always be this way. Always be that way, you know. And the last thing my dad said before he died, you know, she told me his last words were, you raise these kids to love people and always shake hands with people. And, you know, she told me that. She said, that's what your dad's last words were to me. Because I was 7 and he was 10 when our dad died. You know, so she told her how to raise us. But 2 things. To love people and shake hands with people. That was the only 2 things he told her before he died. Now, ain't that, for me, I would say, I would go write a book before I die. But that was the only 2 things he told her. To love people and always shake hands with people. He said, you raise them that way. 2 things, you know, I guess that was important to him before he took his last breath, you know. And she said, that's what he told me before he died. So she said, that's how I want y'all to be. And she raised us that way. But, you know, I would go on and on and on, but just those 2 words, you know, was for him. All right, Hasiskitka, sun measurer. Hamgat, Uyanibiga. It's past 1. Hasiskikoji minutes. Jakiben. Oh, I know boxing Jihitagatis. Boxing Jihitagatis. I'm gonna try to do this, and then I'm gonna try to go over what I got for y'all, like those little sayings and advice and quotes. I'll have those tomorrow too, but I'm gonna be working on this in the meanwhile to better explain this, okay? All right. Mado, again, Ayibes.
Laro.
But Jay,
So I hope somebody, y'all's learning, okay? I hope y'all's learning.
we are always, and
Yeah.
your dad and mom succeeded because those are two ways I would describe you, Mvhayv, just so you know that from what I can see of you is you love people and you have an openness to shake hands in the sense of your heart to heart, so.
But my dad,
But Jay,
I hear that.
he would be. Take care all.
Yo, oh, I know. See, here's a guy say.